money and problems. I don't wanna hear all that bullshit. What the fuck you thought would happen if you were part of the pulpit? You thought that you could subtract all your sadness when all your pockets the fullest. Self-liberation not part of your mind. Think about this all the time. This shit just straight from the spine.
Thanks for coming to The Shot for an interview today. Who is Samwyse?
Samwyse is a professional sound healer. I try to make healing vibrations with my music and try to positively affect the world through vibration.
So you're from the DMV, right?
From Northeast DC, yeah.
Northeast. Have you lived here your whole life, or did you move?
Born and raised.
How has your transition been since becoming an artist?
It was kind of natural at first because I was like raised around musicians, and my mom is a poet, and I was always in these different artist communities. So once I started making music with me and my friends, it was just natural, and then we just started performing, and then it just became like.
So that was definitely your inspiration.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was already doing it, and then I was like, oh, I'm an artist now, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you describe your music in one sentence?
In one sentence? It is therapy that I hope can bring light or revelation to someone else's life and situations, whatever they're going through.
Money and Problems, the music video has just hit 52K in just 10 months. So like, how does that feel as, you know, as an upcoming artist? Like, how does that make you feel coming from the DMV area?
I can't lie. It's trippy to realize that people are actually like listening and watching what I'm doing. But I'm grateful, you know. Glory to God for everything that is happening right now.
How did you put that song together?
How did I put it together? I had a session with my friend, One Great Bastard, OGB. Shout out to that man. And afterwards, he was playing a video game like Madden or something, and I was coming up with another beat for us to work on together, low key. And I had the mic in my hand, like no stand or pop filter or anything, in his bedroom, you know what I mean? Came up with the beat, freestyled the chorus, and then he was like, that's cool, but, you know, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of tired. So I left his house. I went to New York like the next day or something, and I showed my other friend who made this jacket, by the way. Shout out to Chooks, Bandit
yes.
Studios.
What's
and
on
I showed it to him, and no shade to my man OGB, but he was like, bro, you have to be the only one on this track. Less than a month later, like it was a little bit until I worked on it again, and then I made the rest of the track. And I was just like, let me drop this now. I have so much music in the vault, y'all don't understand. Like, I have 5 years of music that I haven't released because I've been waiting for like the quote right time. And then I released that track, and then all this shit got set in motion. And I was like, why didn't I release all this shit? Because now I don't have a catalog. Everybody
has been talking about how your song is on 2K. Just tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did it make it to 2K?
Man, so I uploaded it. So alright, so let me start by saying I use DistroKid to distribute all my music to the stores and stuff, to like Spotify, Apple Music and stuff. So this release, I was trying out United Masters. It's another service. They have an opportunity with 2K where you can submit your tracks. And all of your tracks if you want. But that was I just submitted like Money and Problems. That was the only track I used with United Masters. And I was 23 at the time. It was last year. It was my Jordan year. I had my Michael Jordan Wizards jersey hung on my wall. I still have it. It was from Michael Jordan's last ever game and career. And I would always look at that, like every day. Just inspiration. You know? But it was free. I didn't get paid for that, just by the way. I did not get paid.
So you're not getting paid for your music on 2K?
I get paid from streams. But I didn't get paid, you know, usually they send a check. If you get put on a movie or whatever, like, nah, they were like, this shit is free forever all across the globe. And I was like, what up? And then they were like, you gotta sign this contract by tomorrow night. Like when they sent it to me. So I'm blessed that I checked my email, bro. Because, you know what I mean?
Because seriously, time was definitely ticking.
Yeah, I would have missed it.
When you are recording music or, you know, coming up with something new, cooking up something different, who would you say is your top target audience?
Most of the time, when I'm creating, like in the studio, I don't have a particular audience in mind. But for some songs, we will have like a vibe in mind, like, you know. But it depends, because a lot of times it's like I'll make the beat, or we'll get the beat. Someone will start freestyling, or I'll start freestyling, and the idea will kind of build around that. You know, whatever that vibe is. But sometimes we'll make something, and before anyone starts writing, we'll be like, what does this feel like? I really have a target in mind, to be honest.
Everything is for the people.
Everything is for the people. Whoever fucks with it, fucks with it. I mean, maybe I should think about that, but I feel like that would kind of taint what I'm trying to do as well.
Now, I see you came a long way since your first Lucid video. I know we already talked about, you know, Money and Problems and how that's your #1 song out right now. So how would you feel like you matured since then? Like, is it something different that you've done since then, or has it been the same thing? Or like, what are your steps moving forward?
My goal is to be more consistent. And we were just talking before this interview started about artists being afraid to put stuff out because of the perception or other people's opinions. And that's something that's changed since then, is me, instead of worrying about what people think, trying to be strategic in how I put my music out.
Well, tell us more about Found Sound. What is that?
Found Sounds? Oh, y'all dug. So, Found Sounds. Alright, so it started off with some random video that my homie posted. His name is Dylan Kidd. Of him making a whole song out of like bathroom objects and shit, like toothbrush, like all the. It was dope. And that shit like popped off when we were in college. Like some German radio station picked it up or something. So that kind of inspired me to make my own like objects. And I call it Found Sounds. And I just was in my room and I had the scissors and type shit. And I low-key have a whole album called Objects of songs like this. So I went to Starbucks one time, they were fucking with me and they gave me a bunch of sounds and shit. So I take videos with my iPhone and I drag them into Logic, which is what I produce in, and it rips the sound off. And then like I just sample everything.
Okay, so you get very creative when it comes to making music, huh?
Most definitely. I get very experimental too sometimes. Like if I had money, I would definitely buy like the weird shaped instruments and shit and just like fuck around with them.
Anybody in the world, who would you say is your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration?
Who or what is your biggest inspiration?
I would say the power of the Most High is my biggest inspiration. Because I feel like most of the time, I'm just channeling. Like, I will write some stuff or like spit or sing something and kind of sit back and be like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Where did that come from? You know, so artist-wise, I would have to say like Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill, that type wave, D'Angelo. Yeah, it's hard to try to pinpoint it to one place.
Okay, so I mean, just tell us what you're working on now. Like, what's cooking up?
I got a 3-track EP called I Think I Know What I'm Doing. You know,
is that what your fans should be looking at for your newest project?
That's what they should be looking at. That's coming next month. Me and my boy Ayotemi, we have a publishing company together. Where we're going to be releasing a bunch of songs together too. So on January 11th, we got a song called Amazing 432. It's an Afrobeat song. I'm putting that out.
What's the name of the publishing company?
Mango Camp.
Mango Camp.
Mango Camp. Because if you don't fuck with mangoes, I cannot trust you, bro. What's good with you? What's good with you? Like, continuation.
Is it true you started playing the violin at 5 years old?
Yeah, so my older brother, he's 4 years older than me. His friend was in the DC Youth Orchestra, and so he was like, let me start this joint. And then my parents were like, that'll take up the kids' Saturdays. You know what I mean? They won't be doing whatever. So they sent me off and they basically were like, what instrument do you want to play? And I was like, violin, fuck it. And then it was just like, it just kept going. And, you know, there was a couple years where I hated that shit. I would come home and be like, you know, like, I don't like this shit. My parents would be like, you have to do this shit. And I'm glad they did. My dad's family, he grew up in Texas. His mom was a choir director. He had a big family, but they were all forced to play an instrument. Because in the draft, his parents thinking, where if they got drafted to the war, they could try to be in the army band instead of having to be like shipped off or something like that.
What is something that you want to gain from your fans? Like, what is something that you always like want to ask of your fans?
I'm just trying to get supported. You know what I mean? I like, not to sound too material or anything, but I'm trying to pay rent with my music. You know, I'm trying to build a studio with my music, and right now, you know, I have part-time jobs and shit. I gotta make extra money just to pay bills and stuff. I want my fans to realize their own self-worth and like be their best selves. You know, I'll be blessed if they could listen to my music and be inspired to do something of their own that will positively affect someone else.
And is that where you see yourself in about maybe 5 years?
5 years for sure. For sure. 1 year. You know what I'm saying? 2 years.
We appreciate you for joining us on The Shot today, and we definitely look forward to having you back in the future. And we definitely wish you all success on your music.
Yes. Blessings. Peace to the people, love and light.
Money and problems. I don't wanna hear all that bullshit.